So today we're going to be talking about the urban legend that is the black-eyed children. Please in advance excuse my voice. I've been really ill for the last 2 weeks and it's just not shifting, so my voice sounds really deep and really raspy and it's painful. Hopefully I'll be better soon. The reason I wanted to make this video was, one, I find it really interesting. It's been something that I've looked into quite a few times just out of interest and curiosity, and I find it just so creepy, the whole idea of there being these children with black eyes and no one really knows what they want and they seem dangerous, and yeah, it's something that definitely intrigues me. And then the other reason is I kind of had a bit of a strange brush with the whole thing recently in my own personal day-to-day life. Thankfully, I've never actually seen a black-eyed child, touch wood, and I don't plan on seeing one anytime soon. Recently, I was out filming a wedding, and on the drive there, which is probably about an hour and a half away from where I live. It wasn't a massive drive, it wasn't that far away, but partway through that drive I ended up going through this woodland and the speed limit dropped to 40 and it said there was lots of deers around on all these signs, so I didn't really think anything of it. But when I actually saw the sign for where it was I was driving through, it said it was Cannock Chase, and I've definitely heard of Cannock Chase before, but I could not for the life of me think why. Why does that name ring such a bell with me? So I didn't really think anything of it other than it was just a really cool place to drive through. And it wasn't until a few days later that I was at home and it just came to mind again, and I thought I'm going to search it up. And when I did, that's when I realised why it rang a bell to me, and that's because it's a place that's been a hot spot of sightings in the UK for the black-eyed children, which freaks me out so much that I drove through that and had no idea. So yeah, it's all just piqued my interest even more, and I thought I want to make a video about it just to have a look a bit more at the sightings that have been specific to Cannock Chase and also how they compare a bit to different reports from the rest of the world. If you haven't heard of the black-eyed children before, obviously the name speaks for itself. They don't have any visible whites to their eyes. They're supposed to speak in a very unnatural, monotone, oddly formal kind of way, and it often seems like they're play acting as children. It doesn't seem very genuine to people that have seen them. And another big thing about them is a lot of people that say they have had contact with these black-eyed children is that they often feel a sense of dread or a sense of being in immense danger that's prominent throughout more or less all of the reports that I've seen across the globe. So the first well-known account of the black-eyed children happened in 1996 by Brian Bethel, if I'm saying his name correctly. Brian Bethel, a journalist from Texas. He claimed that two children approached his car whilst he was driving late at night and they asked him for a ride. They were very persistent, allegedly, knocking on the windows. Creepy. Their eyes were completely black with no visible whites. They spoke in a formal, very monotone way, and he felt an overwhelming sense of dread when they were around. He posted the story online and it spread quickly, and it's often cited as the beginning of this modern legend. It seems, from what I can tell from him uploading to the internet his experience, a lot of other experiences then came to light. People were posting about their own experiences with the black-eyed children, and it has left a bit of uncertainty about how legitimate the whole thing is. Obviously I'd love to think it's not true. I do think it actually is, but yeah. So there's a bit to decide on whether we think it's probably come from like creepypasta, that kind of thing, like how Slender Man became very legit even though it wasn't. But I do think a lot of this is actually genuine, and it does seem like this all started from Brian Bethel's story. And he says that's what happened to him. So after that, similar reports emerged across the UK, US and other parts of the world of children asking to be let into homes or cars, the witnesses feeling intense fear or even paralysis, and the children were said to not behave naturally like real humans. So thinking back to Cannock Chase, it already had quite a paranormal reputation, specifically UFOs, even werewolves apparently. So it's a bit of a hotspot for... It depends what you believe in. I don't believe in werewolves personally, but yeah, it's supposed to be a place where weird things happen anyway. One of the earlier sightings at Cannock Chase goes as far back as 1982, and it was by the aunt of a paranormal researcher and writer, Lee Brickley, who has extensively documented the reports that have come from Cannock Chase. Allegedly in this story, Brickley's aunt was walking in Cannock Chase one evening when she saw a young girl aged approximately 6 to 8 years old. She was crying out loud, "Help, mummy, help." The girl then ran into the woodland, but then suddenly stopped and turned to face her. Brickley's aunt felt a deep sense of something being wrong, but the girl disappeared into the trees before the aunt could reach her. Creeps me out so much. I don't even know what I'd do. Which is weird, because then it seems like, similar to some of the other stories that have happened in the UK, it seems like the children here don't actually they don't want anything. It's almost like, I don't know if they just want attention or what, but they're not actually asking for anything from what I can see anyway, so which differs quite a bit from the reports in America that you hear. A later famous report happened in 2014. A woman and her daughter were walking through Cannock Chase and heard a child screaming for help nearby. They ran towards the sound, but they couldn't see anything. A girl then appeared behind them that looked to be 10 years old with her hands covering her eyes. The fact, like, they're creeping up from behind is... Ugh. I'm probably going to be that person. I would just assume that was a black-eyed child, and I'm running. I'm not even risking it. After noticing the girl, the woman asked if she was okay, and the girl slowly lowered her hands to reveal completely black eyes. The woman panicked, grabbed her daughter, and as they went to run away, she looked back and the child had vanished. It just freaks me out so much, because it's just like, what do they actually want? They don't seem to be wanting anything. It's just like they want to get your attention, and then as soon as they have it, they go. Or as soon as they freaked you out, they run away. It's weird. There is a slight variation to this story, and that's that the woman said that when the girl was covering her eyes, it looked like she was waiting for a birthday cake. So I'm just imagining that, like, when I was a kid and you have a kid's birthday party and your mum's bringing out the cake and you're like waiting for the big surprise. Ugh. Why does she have that expression? It's again like very, I think the woman actually said it felt very unnatural and staged, and that's exactly how that sounds to me. It's like they're play acting at being real children. I don't understand what the purpose is. It's so weird. So like I mentioned, the stories from Cannock Chase do seem to differ from a lot of the reports that come from America, where the children are said to knock on the doors of homes and cars asking to be let in. So they're actually asking for something and trying to communicate verbally with whoever it is that they're around or targeting. So they're said to knock on the door late at night, and when the witness looks outside, they see 1 or 2 children stood in silence. The children will politely ask for something like, "Can we come in?" or "Can we use your phone?" They're described as having very pale skin, cold, emotionless voices, and they give the witness a feeling of dread before they realise that the children have completely black eyes. In nearly all of the reports, the children seem to be unable to enter the homes or vehicles without being invited in by the witness. So that has led to some speculation from people that maybe they're like vampires because they're not allowed to come in unless you invite them in, but I don't know. It just, obviously it sounds like that, but in my opinion, vampires absolutely aren't real, which I think most people would agree, so it's probably not that. But I don't know what they are, and that's what freaks me out so much, because I actually believe this one. I do think there's a lot of stories that come out about this that aren't legit. It's people just adding stuff online, but I do think some of them are real, and it just freaks me out. It just freaks me out so much. So what I did do after this is I decided to be a bit of a weirdo. I thought I'd go back to Cannock Chase. It was a really nice day. It was bank holiday. I thought I'll go for a walk around. And I'll be honest, I don't really like walking on my own anyway. It does scare me a bit. I'm a bit of a baby, but I thought I'll go do it. It's a nice day, and it's, you know, if nothing else, it's a nice woodland area, get out into nature. And I went and I thought I'll get some footage of what it's actually like in Cannock Chase, but then I'd be able to get a feel for the place as well, and maybe just let you guys know what I thought of it. Honestly speaking, it was actually a really nice place. Like, I would definitely go back there for a walk, 100%. I decided to go on the Lady Hill Trail, if anyone's thinking of going. That's like the smallest family friendly walk because I was very scared. I thought, even though I'm going in broad daylight, I don't want to see a black-eyed child personally. So yeah, I went on that walk. It's a really, really short walk. I think they say it can take up to an hour, but it only took me 30 minutes to do the whole thing. And it was a really nice walk, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a really pretty place. There's lots of nature. I had a nice peaceful walk, but there was a few parts of the walk, because of the time that I went, I tried to go like early enough where it wasn't going to be packed with people because of bank holiday, but not too early where I'd be completely on my own because I'm not that brave. So for the most part, I was walking around other people, but there was a few parts where I was on my own. If I'd like hung back for a bit to take a photo of something, I was, yeah, on my own for a couple of small stretches of that walk. And the thing, I'm trying to not be biased, because I think if I didn't know about the black-eyed children before going there, would I feel differently? And I don't know. It was a really cute place to go for a walk. It was very, if you're a naturistic person, you would love it there. If you love going on walks or runs or whatever, it's really nice, and I would recommend it. But I think it still had a bit of an eerie vibe to it, even in the day. And again, I might be being biased because I knew about the black-eyed children before I went, but I just thought it was a little bit eerie there. It actually reminded me, because of just like the shapes of the trees, just the way, the layout of it, reminded me of the woods that he goes into in The Nightmare Before Christmas. when he goes to find all the different doors for like Christmas land, and yeah. But it was a really nice place. A lot of people were there walking their dogs or just going for a morning walk, similar to me, and I think I was the only one there, to be honest, that was keeping my eye out for black-eyed children. So I'm sure that the locals don't seem to be afraid of it, and it would be quite interesting to actually hear from someone that's local to that area what they think of it. Like, is it a weird place or not? Yeah, it would be interesting to pick people's brains about that. So yeah, it's just a short and sweet one. I just wanted to have a look a little bit more at specifically what's been said about Cannock Chase, let you know my experiences walking through there on my own, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want more of a deep dive, let me know, and hopefully see you for the next video.